Hello. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to gather here today for this important milestone in the life of Accra Metropolitan University. We acknowledge your wisdom as the source of all knowledge and understanding. Lord, as we launch this program in security, intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital forensics, we ask for your guidance, inspiration, grant us wisdom to all leaders, insight to all faculty, and diligence to our students, both current and prospective students, to prepare them to serve society with integrity and excellence. Bless our guest speakers and all participants gathered here today. May the discussions and the knowledge shared contribute to peace, security, innovation, and the advancement of our nation and global community. We commit this gathering into your hands and pray for a successful and impactful event. In your name we pray. Can you say amen? The Ghana Police Band will give us the university anthem whilst we remain standing. Shall we all rise? Please, shall we resume our seats? Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to this milestone program launch and public lecture. Without much ado, I would like to invite our very distinguished global acting Vice Chancellor of Accra Metropolitan University in the person of Professor Goski Alabi to give us the opening remarks.
Thank you very much, and welcome to each and every one of us. If we are happy to be here, let's give ourselves a resounding round of applause. Thank you very much. The Executive Chair of E-Crime Bureau, our senior partners from the police service, here represented by COP Siraj, our partners also from the prison service represented here, and also from the fire service. Distinguished guests, colleagues, students, partners, friends of the media, it is a great pleasure to welcome you to this important milestone in the journey of Accra Metropolitan University. Today's launch reflects who we are and what we stand for, an institution that is committed to industry-integrated education, where learning goes beyond theory and directly aligns with real-life practice. At Accra Metropolitan University, we do not simply train students or educate students. We develop capable professionals. Our programs in cybersecurity, digital forensics, and security and intelligence are deliberately designed to respond to the evolving demands of the digital and security landscape, not only in Ghana, but the rest of Africa. Through our collaboration with E-Crime Bureau, we are bridging the gap between curriculum and capability, ensuring that our students gain not only knowledge, but also hands-on experience, industry exposure, and professional relevant skills. The partnership with E-Crime is particularly significant because it embeds the practical learning that is so much aspired. It also provides intelligence-driven insights and real case exposure into our academic delivery. Indeed, our students enrolled on these programs will not only benefit immensely from this collaboration, which allows them to emerge as graduates who are not just qualified, but also those who are industry ready. Our collaboration with E-Crime is what makes the difference for our students in those programs already mentioned. And that is the MSc Security and Intelligence and the MSc Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. This is why we stand tall and our graduates stand tall. Ladies and gentlemen, today's public lecture is on the theme From Curriculum to Capability, Cybersecurity and Intelligence Education in the Algorithmic Era, which is a testament of the Accra Met's focus on the industry-integrated approach. Let me also mention that the university has a similar collaboration with the Electricity Company of Ghana for our MSc Energy Management and Policy Program, as well as our upcoming diploma in electrician training. To do us the honors today, ladies and gentlemen, and to dissect the theme appropriately, we have none other than Ghana's iconic cybersecurity expert, Dr. Antwi Boasiako. the Cybersecurity and Intelligence Dawn of Ghana. Dr. Antwi Boasiako served as the founding Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority of Ghana from 2021 to 2025. Prior to his appointment as the Director General of the CSA, he served as the National Security Advisor from 2017 to 2021 here in Ghana. You would agree with me that it couldn't have been anyone better than the one we have this afternoon. During his time in public service, Dr. Antwi Boasiako played a very central role in building Ghana's cybersecurity regulatory framework, leading the development and operationalization of the Security Act 2020, Act 1038, and strengthening institutional capacity as well. He also served as the inaugural chair of the African Network of Cybersecurity Authority, ANCA. Currently, he is the executive chair and the founder of E-Crime Bureau, a digital forensic firm he founded, which is making inroads across the continent. Of course, E-Crime Bureau's footprints on the continent are really a true testament of the work ahead of us. Our students will have that singular honor of privilege training with them to gain practical hands-on experience at the world-class headquarters of E-Crime located at East Legon. And I tell you, when I first visited that facility, I knew that Ghana is making the right impact, and we are going in the right direction. Dr. Antwi Boasiako therefore brings his extensive experience in advising institutions on building resilient digital systems and integrating cybersecurity into leadership and policy frameworks. He is also, most importantly, a senior lecturer on our security and intelligence as well as cybersecurity and digital forensic program here in Accra Metropolitan University. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to say that over the 3-year period of our collaboration with the E-Crime Bureau on short training programs, we have come to recognize and acknowledge the vulnerabilities that exist in many organizational systems. Whenever they do the trainings and they do the normal pen tests, we see what is happening in many organizations. In fact, in one of those trainings about 2 years ago, we were very surprised when we found that very well-established, huge institutions here in Ghana had their systems very ajar, to the extent that one could even enter one of the institutions and stop the printing of their own checks or change their passwords. This is the severity of what we are talking about. Evidently, our industry-integrated MSc program on security, digital forensics, cybersecurity, and intelligence are positioned to develop national capacity to address such vulnerabilities. No need mentioning the impact of cybersecurity threats in our financial institutions and the financial sector. Of course, trends are changing, and we have heard about different types of warfare, including cyber warfare, amidst many others. As part of this forward-looking initiative, I am very pleased to announce that in the partnership with E-Crime Bureau, Accra Metropolitan University is introducing a national hackathon by the end of the year. This hackathon is going to be very different from the ones that we have experienced because it targets a very different demographic group. This will provide our students with a platform to innovate, solve real-life security challenges, and demonstrate their skills in a competitive and collaborative environment. Ladies and gentlemen, the future belongs to those who can think ahead, adapt, and act. At Accra Met, we are committed to producing such individuals where we empower minds and shape futures. Leaders who are equipped to transform systems and secure our digital world. I cannot say more about the importance of this evening as we wait patiently to hear from the dawn of cybersecurity in Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Goski Alabi, the Acting Vice Chancellor of Accra Metropolitan University. Her tall profile is in the brochure. So when you scan, as at last week, we tried to reduce it to about 15 pages. I'm sure you will not be tired reading her tall profile. She is a global icon. Let's do it once again for her. I appreciate you. So the academic team, did some small research to identify some key people in the space who can attest to the global credibility and professionalism and the experience of our guest speaker. And we identified two key people, and one of them happened to be here with us and to do the solidarity messages on behalf of all the security services. Shall we hear the profile of our solidarity speakers? Thank you.
A very good afternoon to everyone, and you are welcome to Accra Met. So a brief profile of Commissioner of Police Alhaji Mohammed Hussaini Suraj, the Director General, National Patrol Department, Ghana Police Service. COP Alhaji Suraj Hussaini Mohammed is the Director General in charge of National Patrol Department of the Ghana Police Service. He is a master's degree MSc honors holder from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice, City University of New York, USA, and a master's degree in development planning and management from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. He holds a bachelor degree in geography and resource development from the University of Ghana, Legon. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in development planning and management from the Universität Dortmund, Germany, and a special postgraduate certificate in public administration from GIMPA. To climax his educational pursuit, he also holds a commissioned certificate into the Senior Officers Corps of the Ghana Police College, Accra. He has held several managerial positions in the Ghana Police Service and international peacekeeping missions abroad. And these include Director General, National Patrol Department, Director General, Operations Police Headquarters, Senior Police Liaison Officer, Department of Peacekeeping Operations, United Nations Headquarters, Manhattan, New York, USA. Director, Operations, Police Headquarters, Commanding Officer, CMTTD, Accra. Director, Community Policing Unit, Tesano, Accra. Chief Security Detail to the former Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. He's also held the position of the Commanding Officer, MTTD, Kumasi in the Ashanti region. He is married with 5 children, and he is also a part-time livestock farmer. His hobbies are reading, cooking, and listening to high life music. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and let's welcome Commissioner of Police, Alhaji Suraj.
Good afternoon to all of you. Before I came on stage, Doctor was asking me how many livestock do I have. I said, I have he-goats. So if he's interested, he can join me after this. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity and the platform. The Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Goski B, Alabi, all protocol duly observed for want of time. On behalf of the Ghana Police Service, and particularly the National Patrol Department, I extend warm solidarity and commendations to the leadership of Accra Metropolitan University and its partners, including the E-Crime Bureau, for organizing this important academic program launch and public lecture. The introduction of postgraduate program in cybersecurity, digital forensics, security, and intelligence is both timely and strategic. Why? In today's algorithm-driven world, threats to national security increasingly manifest in digital spaces, making the development of skilled cybersecurity professionals and intelligence analysts an urgent national priority. As law enforcement agencies continue to adapt to evolving technological risk, the partnership between academia and security institutions becomes very essential in strengthening our national capacity to prevent, detect, and respond to cyber-related crimes. The Ghana Police Service, through its operational and investigative units, recognizes the growing sophistication of cyber-enabled offenses and the importance of professional training, which is grounded in research, ethics, and innovation. We therefore welcome the establishment of these academic programs, which will continue to contribute significantly to building a pipeline of competent professionals who are capable of safeguarding Ghana's digital infrastructure and supporting law enforcement operations. I also wish to commend the guest speaker, Dr. Antwi Boasiako. He happened to be by mate, we were members of the Joint Intelligence Committee, and we sat together throughout the 3 years or 4 were. So I wasn't surprised that we are here together. So Boasiako belongs to my family and also belongs to Tadbir. Very interesting. And so I wish to congratulate you for your distinguished leadership and contributions to cybersecurity development in Ghana. And you continue to inspire collaboration between government, academia, and industry. Your insights on transitioning from curriculum design to operational capability will undoubtedly provide valuable direction for students, practitioners, and policymakers alike. As we move forward into an era defined by artificial intelligence, digital transformation, and interconnected systems, the responsibility to secure our digital environment must be a shared responsibility across institutions. The National Patrol Department remains committed to supporting initiatives that enhance professional capacity, public safety, and national resilience. Once again, I congratulate Accra Metropolitan University and its partners for this visionary initiative. It is my hope that this program will produce graduates who are not only technically competent, but also guided by integrity, discipline, and deep commitment to national service. Thank you, and I wish this program launch and public lecture great success. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, COP Alhaji Suraji. God bless you. Thank you. And we also welcome your team from your department. Before we invite the guest speaker, our very distinguished faculty for the two programs, we want to invite a member of the planning committee from the E-Crimes Bureau to do the profile of our guest speaker. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. It takes a lot to read the profile of a very distinguished man. Yes. For about 15 years, Dr. Antwi Boasiako has led cybersecurity development across Africa in both private and public sectors. In 2011, he founded the E-Crime Bureau in Ghana, the first cybersecurity and digital forensics firm in West Africa with a dedicated lab, aiding law enforcement in investigation and prosecuting cybercrime. His work through the Bureau led to engagements across Africa, including Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, Morocco, Senegal, Nigeria, and Ghana. His private sector efforts involved international organizations such as the UNODC, the UNCTAD, the EU, the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering, West Africa focused, and GIABA. He served as an expert on the Council of Europe's Glacis Plus project. From July 2017 to September 2021, Dr. Antwi Boasiako served as Ghana's National Cybersecurity Advisor and head of the National Cybersecurity Center, which was established in 2018. leading cybersecurity development from 32% in 2017 when he was first appointed to 99.27% in 2024, ranking Ghana as a Tier 1 cybersecurity role model country globally, according to ITU's Global Cybersecurity Index. He led the passage of Ghana's Cybersecurity Act, 2020 Act 1038, and the adoption of a new national cybersecurity policy and strategy in 2024. Dr. Antwi Boasiako led Ghana's technical efforts for the ratification of Budapest Convention and the Malabo Convention, respectively, on cybersecurity and personal data protection. He also directed negotiations for the UN Convention Against Cybercrime, which was adopted in August 2024. He has spearheaded many cybersecurity initiatives, including critical information infrastructure protection, licensing of cybersecurity service providers, and awareness campaigns for children, the public, businesses, and government, crowned as the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month celebration, which is celebrated annually. These efforts have established Ghana as a regional leader in cybersecurity, recognized by independent studies and development partners. Dr. Antwi Boasiako completed his PhD studies at the University of Pretoria in South Africa, introducing the harmonized model for digital evidence admissibility assessment, a groundbreaking contribution to digital forensic standardization. Dr. Antwi Boasiako graduated from the University of Trento in Italy for his undergraduate program and the University of Portsmouth in the United Kingdom for his postgraduate program, receiving cum laude and distinction respectively. Dr. Albert has spoken at over 100 international domestic conferences, workshops, and forums. He has conducted training and capacity building programs across Africa, Asia, Europe, Latin America, and the Pacific region. He has collaborated with organizations like the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, the International Telecommunications Union, the GFCE, the UN, UNICEF, and the United States Government Security Governance Initiative, and also the Freedom Online Coalition on Cybersecurity Issues. His past roles include serving on the Independent Advisory Committee of the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism, as a bureau member of the Cybercrime Convention Committee of the Council of Europe, and as a member of the WEF's Global Coalition on Digital Safety. Dr. Antwi Boasiako is an accomplished institutional builder, having founded E-Crime Bureau in the private sector, establishing Ghana's Cybersecurity Authority in the public sector as well, and serving as the founding president of the African Network of Cybersecurity Authorities, otherwise known as ANCA. He currently serves as the executive chairman of E-Crime Bureau, driving the firm's African market activities. He lectures at a number of institutions, including the KIPTC, Accra Metropolitan University, KNUST, GIMPA, and UNICRE. He has publications on IT, cybersecurity, cybercrimes, data protection, and digital forensics. Dr. Antwi Boasiako is the author of the 10 Commandments for Sustainable National Cybersecurity Development, Africa in Context, Practical Lessons, and Good Practices. This is a book which explores the key principles for sustainable national cybersecurity development in Africa, drawing on Ghana's cybersecurity initiatives from 2016 to 2024, alongside comparative practices from other jurisdictions. He also has authored his professional autobiography, that is titled The Republic, A Professional Journey, Ghana's Cybersecurity and the Making of a Role Model Country. This book chronicles nearly 15 years of Ghana's cybersecurity evolution and institutional reforms. It combines personal reflections with policy insights and strategic analysis. Dr. Antwi Boasiako, as a philanthropist, has also founded the Education for Development Foundation, which is a not-profit and non-governmental organization established to support education of the underprivileged in Ghana. The establishment of the E4D Foundation is premised on what Plato, an ancient Greek philosopher, rightly indicated in his Republic: the direction in which education starts a man will determine the future in life. The foundation has been established purposely to support this journey of the underprivileged to change life narratives. To corroborate the statement that our acting Vice Chancellor made about he being the doyen of cybersecurity in Ghana, in October 2025, the Cybersecurity Authority recognized him as a father of cybersecurity development in Ghana in recognition of his his pioneering role in the institutionalization of cybersecurity in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Antwi Boasiako.
Lawyer, that was a long one. Prof, Venerable Professor Goski, the academic community, distinguished guests, students, friends from the media, invited guests, everyone. I am humbled to be invited to deliver this message. But Prof, I think I want to respond to the beautiful words that you shared about me and about my work. But I would like to indicate here that no matter how lucky, how blessed, how miraculous things happen in your life, success is never achieved by a single person. And Prof, even though I did not have those in my content here, permits me to recognize a number of people who have supported me on this journey. Yeah, we've achieved a lot, 15 years plus, of building the nation's cybersecurity, but right from day one. There are people in this room, and I wish to recognize them. Says some many. This is not registered. Please stand up, let's see. This is a man who started supporting my work from day one. I see my favorite lawyer, Adley, that's how I call her. She supported me as a board member of the CSA. Lawyer Adley, please, thank you for coming. I have industry partner here. My brother from the financial sector. Please, Sobet, let's see you as well. Thanks for coming. Our own Dr. Senna, who is doing extremely well. Yes, it's you. I mean, there are two senators actually sitting on the front, and all of them. Dr. Senna, thanks for what you're doing within the space of law and the contribution to cybersecurity. I'm not too sure why, Lawyer Abdullah, why did you leave Parliament? Such a legal brain behind the development of our legislations. Lawyer, thank you, please, let's go. Ambassador Senna, who we work together at the Ministry for National Security, please, let's. I think Alabi has already told the story. We were sharing notes, we sat together for a number of years, and I thank you for the guidance and the support. He's my senior brother, and he guided me. While I was making a mistake, he provided me guidance, and I want to thank you for that. Okay? But Prof also permits me, and then there's a young man here, my colleague. This relationship was achieved by him. It was through his leadership. Sir Philip, if you can stand up a minute. It was through his leadership that he facilitated this relationship. I want to thank you for the work that you've done and the collaboration. Sir Philip, okay. But also, I think the team from the Accra and Bureau, led by our consulting chief executive and all the team members, thank you for establishing this relationship in support of such an outstanding work being done by a woman who has set standards in terms of educational development within our jurisdiction. Invited guests, to be invited here to speak within the walls of a full-fledged university is to be welcomed into one of humanity's most enduring and sacred conversations. And for that privilege, my gratitude runs deeper than a mere courtesy. A university environment is no ordinary environment. It is a space charged with a weight of questions that have outlived generations and empires. A place where unfinished business of the mind finds its most honest expression. To be extended such an invitation to contribute to that great unfolding dialogue between what we know and what we dare to imagine is something I'm grateful to the university community for. I'm therefore profoundly pleased to participate in this dialogue, not as a lecturer who arrived with answers, but as a fellow traveler like all of you, in the shared pursuit of understanding towards improving the human condition. To build a university is to bet on the future of the human mind, and few have traveled this path with as much conviction and philosophical depth. Prof. Joshua Alabi and the venerable wife, Prof. Goski B, Alabi, the co-founders of this university, guided by their belief that knowledge is not a destination, but a perpetual becoming. They envision an institution rooted in Socratic understanding that true education begins where certainty ends. Examining the academic lives of the two founders, their focus has never been merely on what students should learn, but rather on who they ought to become, a distinction that has become their hallmark within the academic community, both here in Ghana and abroad. In establishing this institution, they embraced the ancient tension between wisdom and utility, in Platonian terms, refusing to sacrifice one at the altar of the other, and in doing so, created a space where thinking is treated as both a discipline and a calling. Their vision reminds us that a university at its highest form is not a building or a curriculum. It is a continuing conversation between generations, a living testament to the intellectual idea that the examined life is still and will always be worth pursuing. Distinguished guests, we gather at a moment in history where knowledge is no longer scarce. It's not, but wisdom is. The defining feature of our time is not merely the digital transformation that we are all witnessing, but a rise of systems that can learn, that can predict, and that can decide. We are in what I will want to call the algorithmic era, an era in which human judgment increasingly competes with, collaborates with, and is sometimes replaced by algorithmic logic. This era raises a philosophical question that sits at the heart of the higher education. If machines can know, what must humans become? Cybersecurity and Intelligence Education must now answer this critical question. Because our goal is no longer simply to produce graduates who understand systems, but professionals who can question the system that we develop, minds that can challenge outputs, graduates who can interpret meaning and exercise judgment and the uncertainty of the algorithmic era. Education, therefore, in the context of the algorithmic era is not the transfer of information. It is rather the formation of a disciplined judgment. The algorithmic era refers to the current and emerging period in human history in which algorithms, basically set of rules, instructions, mathematical models executed by computers, have become the primary drivers of decision-making. Knowledge distribution, human behavior, and above all, the social organization of humanity. The algorithm era is defined by the ascendancy of computational logic over human judgment, a civilization-altering shift in which algorithms increasingly determine what we see, what we know, what we are offered, and ultimately how we think. It is an age where human experience is continuously harvested and transcribed into data, fed into systems of automated decision-making that operate at scale and speed no human mind can match, and where the creation of even reality itself has been quietly delegated to mathematical representations. What most profoundly defines this era is not merely the power of technology itself, but the opacity of its influence, shaping lives, communities, and cultures through processes that largely remain invisible, unelected, and largely also unaccountable, raising the urgent philosophical question once again of whether humanity remains the author of its own future, or has already begun to surrender that authorship to systems it created but no longer fully comprehends. distinguished guests, this is the algorithmic era. This era falls on us to rethink about the nature of threats, knowledge, and raising a number of questions that has to be resolved within the academic environment. Can humans, for example, can human ethics keep pace with machine execution? Those are one of the foundational philosophical questions that we should be able to answer. Traditionally, intelligence meant gathering information, analyzing patterns, and advising decision makers. Today, algorithms also perform these tasks, possibly better than humans. But algorithms lack contextual judgment, moral reason, and what I call a measured restraint occasioned by our moral reasoning. This certainly introduces a critical distinction. Information is certainly not intelligence. Intelligence requires interpretation, and interpretation requires human consciousness. Algorithms are often perceived as neutral, but that's not true. Algorithms are designed by humans. They are trained on biased data, and they are mostly shaped by invisible assumptions. Thus, every algorithm carries a philosophy, whether acknowledged or not. Cybersecurity and intelligence professionals must therefore become not only technically competent, but also philosophically aware. Let's talk a little bit about the curriculum problem, why traditional models are failing, and why we need to change our approach. If the world has changed fundamentally, why has education not really kept pace? This raises what I call the epistemological crisis that we need to confront. Knowledge is no more stable. In cybersecurity and intelligence in this era, knowledge is very fluid, perishable, and highly context dependent. What is true today may be obsolete tomorrow in a cyber context. Traditional education has always had a privilege, structured answers with predictable outcomes. That has become the cornerstone of what we call the science. But in algorithmic era, real-world cyber environments are defined by complex ambiguity, incomplete information, and fluidity of adversarial behavior. Are we therefore educating students for certainty in a world defined by uncertainty? That's a useful question to think about. Fragmentation of knowledge is a problem here too. Many academic disciplines remain siloed. Cybersecurity without law, intelligence without ethics, technology without philosophy. However, reality is always integrated. According to Checkpoint Research, organizations now face nearly 2,000 cyber attacks per week on average, a figure that has more than doubled in recent years. In addition to this, AI-driven cyber attacks have become increasingly common, with significant proportion of organizations reporting exposure to automated phishing, AI-assisted malware, and synthetic identity fraud. These attacks are not only more frequent, but also faster. Some now execute in seconds and spread across systems in under 30 minutes. The Global Cybersecurity Outlook survey further reveals that 72% of respondents reported an increase in cyber risks, especially social engineering and malware, linked to growing capabilities of generative AI. These are the realities that we face in our organizational environment. For the traditional education systems, this presents a fundamental challenge. The pace and complexity of modern threats have outgrown curricula that we design for slower, more predictable environments. While students may still be taught core principles, the context in which those principles are applied has changed dramatically. This creates a critical tension as education systems are preparing students for a cybersecurity landscape that no longer exists. As cybersecurity becomes more algorithmic driven, the focus must shift from simply understanding tools to understanding systems, how they behave, how they fail, and how they can be secured in the most dynamic environments. Distinguished guests, a cybersecurity incident today is simultaneously technical, legal, economic, political, sociological, and psychological. It is multidimensional. We urgently need to address what I call the credential illusion. The old model of educational curricula has largely equated academic certification with competence and ultimately degrees with capability. There's a big question mark there. But let's see how we can be guided to develop and design a future-ready cybersecurity and intelligence curriculum. To move forward, we must redesign education around a deeper understanding of what it means to be capable. Capability is not what you know, absolutely not. It is what you can do, and most importantly, under pressure and on certain conditions, with real consequences, again, that impacts on the human condition. Philosophically, we need to return to the oldies, the age of the Athenian philosophers. We learn not by being told, but by engaging with reality. Thus, education curriculum should build core capabilities and competencies, such as threat analysis, digital forensic, intelligence synthesis, counterintelligence analysis, offender profiling, and risk-based decision-making, among others. These competencies are not optional. They are essential. The future professional in the algorithmic era must be a technologist, an analyst, a strategist, and ethicist at the same time. This is because the most dangerous failures in this particular era, are not technical. They are mostly failures of judgment. Students in this era must not only use algorithms, they must interrogate them. What assumptions underlie this particular algorithm, for example? What biases are possibly embedded in the model? It's a critical question that we need to ask. What are the limitations? What are the security implications? This is not just a technical training alone. It is also a philosophical training in disguise. Students must learn not just to trust systems, but they should learn to question them as well. Distinguished guest, curriculum in the algorithmic era cannot be static. In an era of constant change, education is no longer a phase. It is a permanent condition. Now moving from curriculum to capability, and bridging the gap between education and real-world capability required structural change. Education should therefore be seen as a formation rather than an instruction. We must shift from teaching content to shaping professionals, which should include discipline, resilience, and ethical clarity. Students should graduate with practical experience with exposure to live environment, including participation in real investigations and simulations. This is because capability is built when knowledge meets reality. But capability is never a destination, ladies and gentlemen. Capability emerges through experimentation and repetition. Capability emerges through failures. And capability emerges through reflections on what will possibly contribute to improving the human condition. There is no expertise without experience, and no experience without exposure to risks. And therefore, the need to expose our students. Concerning the workforce gap, the issue is not really about quantity of education, how many courses are being run within our universities, but the relevance of the educational curricula and approach to address the challenges of the algorithmic era. Graduates often understand concepts such as firewalls, encryption, threat models, but struggle to apply this knowledge in the real world. The scale of the problem is significant. And to cite Fortinet Annual Skills Gap Report for 2024, the global cybersecurity workforce gap is estimated at approximately 4 million professionals. The same report stated that over 70% of organizations report a shortage of job-ready cybersecurity talent. We need to develop a workforce that is capability ready to fill these gaps. In the algorithmic era, our academic faculties must embody both academic rigor and operational excellence. Educators must include industry professionals, security practitioners, cyber intelligence operatives, intelligence analysts as well. This ensures that teaching is informed by practice, not abstraction. We must also begin to measure what matters. Our assessment models must evolve to evaluate judgment, decision-making, analytical depth that support enriching our human condition. Distinguished guests, this is very important because in an age of intelligent machines, human value lies in judgment, ethics, and responsibility. Machines can optimize decisions, but only humans can justify such decisions. Our republic must intentionally develop cybersecurity workforce strategies, intelligence capability pipelines, and early talent identification systems. I believe Accra Met is simply on a mission to contribute to this national development orientation. Distinguished guests, education does not exist in isolation. It is part of a broader ecosystem. The Republic, with this enabling mandate, must recognize that cybersecurity capability is a national asset. This, therefore, requires clear and focused policy direction, finance and investment, as well as workforce planning. Industry has a responsibility too. Industry must move from passive consumption of talent to active co-creators of talent. And I think that is why this university's partnership with the Accra Bureau has come at the right time, I believe, Prof. Industry must support internship and work placement to build capability. Industry should co-create programs and projects with universities to ensure the alignment of what the university are producing with industry needs. The university environment itself should serve as an innovation hub, capable of developing innovative and forward-thinking minds for this era. The universities need to move beyond their traditional role as knowledge providers. We should build systems without legacy constraint and leapfrog outdated models. This, however, requires intentionality, because if we import outdated curriculum, certainly we import outdated capability. Sustainability, ladies and gentlemen, is also key here. We need to sustain capability-driven knowledge through integration, because true capability emerges when policy informs education, and when education in turn informs practice, and then when practice feeds back into policy. Some few philosophical reflections to conclude, Madam Professor, Vice Chancellor. I wish to conclude my lecture with this reflection. The greatest risk in the algorithmic era is not that machines will become too intelligent. I think more often than not, we try to believe that is the case. Really not. I think that shouldn't be the greatest worry of mankind. The real tragedy for the human condition is that humans will become passive, uncritical, and heavily dependent on algorithms. I think that's where the danger is. Education must therefore see this clearly and act quickly to resist this. After all, cybersecurity is not about systems. At the minimum, it's about trust. Intelligence is not about data. At the minimum, it is about meaning. And both ultimately depend on human judgment and human responsibility. Ultimately, these are the elements that will govern the human condition apart from the algorithm. But we don't control the algorithm. The good news is that humans can control judgment and responsibility, the two defining pillars that will shape not just the minds we develop in the walls of this university, but a society increasingly governed by the rules of algorithm. The future of cybersecurity and intelligence will not be determined by algorithm alone, but by the quality of humans who design, change, and govern them. I believe the shift from curriculum to capability should not be seen as a mere academic transition, but rather a civilizational necessity for a republic and through our educational system. The strength of our cybersecurity and intelligence systems will depend not only on the technologies we build, but on the judgment, responsibility, and the preparedness of the people we educate. Distinguished guests, in the algorithmic era, the true measure of education is not what we know, but what we are able to do responsibly and effectively, especially when it matters most. I thank you for the attention.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, guest speaker, COP, distinguished guests. Shall we give another resounding applause to our speaker? Thank you very much. We are deeply honored by the profound insights shared by Dr. Antwi Boasiako. His reflections on education in our algorithmic era challenge us to rethink not only how to teach, but how we secure the future we are preparing. To recap a few of your profound statements, I couldn't capture all, but I just want to recap a few of them. Every algorithm carries a philosophy. That was very powerful. Reality is always integrated. That's another one. Our focus must move to understanding systems. That's another one. We must redesign education to look at what is capable. The most dangerous game in the era are not only technical, but we should question them all. I mean, they are human judgments and thinking. We need to develop a workforce that's capable to handle practical issues. Universities should build systems without constraints. The greatest risk in this era is not that machines will be too intelligent, rather humans will become passive and dependent on machines. And the last one, human judgment and responsibility are critical. Thank you very much, Doc, for these words. In this era where algorithms shape decisions, economies, and national security, education must evolve from mere knowledge transfer to intelligence cultivation, where critical thinking, ethical reasoning, and cyber resilience become foundational competencies. The collaboration, therefore, between Accra Metropolitan University, the E-Crime Bureau, and other security agencies, the Security and Intelligence Agency, is therefore not just timely, it's strategic. And we believe that together, we are not building capacity. We are not just building capacity. We'll be shaping guardians of a digital frontier. Let this partnership stand as a model of how academia and national security institutions can co-create a future that is secure, innovative, and intelligently led. Thank you very much once again for your insights. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, also soon we have come to the end of this very insightful public lecture by the Don himself, the Don of cybersecurity himself. Distinguished guests, industry partners, members of the faculty, students and friends of the media, you would agree with me that today the algorithmic era has been placed in a philosophical context that is situate in aristocratic, Socratic, and Athenian philosophy in general. Let's give him another round of applause. As we draw this important occasion to a close, we do so with a deep sense of purpose and responsibility. Indeed, today is not merely the launch of an academic program and also of a great public lecture. It is the beginning of a strategic response to a rapidly evolving world, one that is defined by complex security threats, digital vulnerabilities, geographical uncertainty, and the urgent need for intelligent-led decision-making, and an urgent need not for we humans to become too dependent on machines. At Accra Metropolitan University, we believe that education must not only respond to the world as it is, but it should shape the world as it should be, and today is one of those days. This program reflects our commitment to delivering an industry-aligned, practice-oriented learning in collaboration with the security forces and, most importantly, with E-Crime Bureau. Our focus is clear: to develop a new generation of security and intelligence professionals who are not only technically competent, but also ethically grounded, strategically minded, and globally aware. To our partners and collaborators, we thank you for your support. That ensures that we do it the right way here at Accra Metropolitan University. To each and every person present here, we say a huge thank you for making time on your very busy schedules to be here with us to make this public lecture a success. Let me emphasize this: that security today is no longer confined to borders. Intelligence is no longer optional, and leadership in this space is also no longer a choice. It has become a necessity. As we live here, let us carry forward a shared commitment to build systems that are secured, institutions that are resilient, and a future that is stable and just. On behalf of Accra Metropolitan University and our partner E-Crime Bureau, I thank you all for your presence once again and for your partnership, as well as your belief in our collective and common vision. Together, we are not just launching a program or having a public lecture. We are building capacity together. We are shaping leadership, and we are securing the future of Ghana and Africa. Thank you all, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.